Whenever you're ready.
Hi, my name is Eliza. This is Group C. Our topic is accidents and what we learn from it. This is
Amanda, Emily,
Francisca.
Nick. Anthony.
and our first speaker is Amanda.
Good morning. Who here has been in a car accident that was their fault? Today, I'm going to talk about my very first car accident, and yes, it was my fault. This happened about last year. It was my very first day of college. It was my first time driving down Yerba Buena Road. Keep in mind that at the time I had my license for about a year, but I never drove on the freeway, and I didn't drive anywhere too far from home or my high school at the time because I was too scared. So it was my first day at a new school and my first time driving up and down a hilly road. That calls for anxiety, right? So I'm driving down, I have my music blasting, all is good. And then we start going downhill, the sun's in my eye, and I'm still singing hella loud, so obviously I don't notice that all the cars in front of me started braking, and you can guess what happens next. I rear-ended the car in front of me, and I kind of just sat there for a moment, not really sure what to do next, not really sure if I really just did that. So then I finally get my life together, and I realize I need to go make sure the other person's okay. I get out of my car, and out comes an older guy in his late 20s and an older woman that I assume is his mom. And that's when I feel hella bad because did I really just hit an old lady? So I start apologizing endlessly, and I ask if they're okay, and he tells me he's fine and that she's fine as well. So we start exchanging insurance information, and we take pictures of our cars, of course. And while all that is going on, what makes it worse on me, what makes my anxiety worse, is that there's already traffic down that road in the morning, but because of me, it was worse. So people were switching over, they were looking at us, they were glaring at us, they were honking at us, and one guy even cussed at us and told us to pull over, even though we were already on the far left lane. So I don't really know where he wanted me to go. So then we continue exchanging information, and after we're done, I ask again, hey, are you okay? I'm so sorry, this is totally my fault. I really hope you guys are okay. And he assures me that they're fine, she's fine, don't worry about it. So we get into our cars, and what makes it even more awkward is that I continue to drive behind him all the way into the school's parking lot, and we park in the same parking lot. So I finally get to class, and I'm sitting there in Math 11, and I can't focus because I just got into my first car accident. Like, that's so embarrassing. I go about my day, go to all my classes, and I finally get home. And there's my mom, and the first thing she asks me is your car okay? Not if I'm okay, but if my car's okay. I lie and I say, oh, it's fine, nothing's wrong with it, even though my headlights were bulging out to the side and my bumper was like scraping the floor. But I didn't want to get in any more trouble than I already was. She then tells me that the guy told his insurance that his neck was sore and he needed a neck brace. And then I start getting really loud and get really defensive because, as you can recall, he told me he was fine. Nothing was wrong, not to worry about it. So now I'm left with a messed up car. Till this day, it's still messed up. And an insurance bill a little over $1,000 for every 6 months. So in conclusion, I learned, for the most obvious reasons, to be more aware on the road for my safety and the safety of others. Secondly, to tell the whole truth to my insurance, to show them the pictures, the proof, everything, because I probably would have been able to get my car fixed by now. And lastly, to not trust the other person and think they're so nice for letting me off easy, when in reality, they were gonna go and tell their insurance that they needed a neck brace when their car had this little of a baby dent in their car, and my car is basically falling apart. Thank you, and the next speaker is Eliza.
Imagine coming home to find out your motorcycle is crashed into the neighbor's yard. Today I'm going to talk about the time that I crashed my dad's motorcycle into the neighbor's backyard. Ever since my dad was little, his dream was to own a motorcycle. He never had the money for it, so he got a job and was able to save up, work overtime hours, and, just save. He then was able to save enough money throughout the years as I got older. he bought the 2006 Kawasaki Ninja. Around this time, I was like 13, 14 years of age. And one day, my dumb self and my siblings decided to do something crazy. We took my dad's motorcycle from the garage and pushed it all the way to the backyard. When we did that, I didn't know how to start it. I didn't know how to like work it or anything. My brother was the only person that knew how to do so. So he taught me how to start it, so that's what I did. But the thing was, I didn't know how to move the motorcycle. So he was teaching me step by step from clutch to whatever, that gassing it. So at first it didn't move, so what I kept doing was just play with it until I just took off and ran right into the gate, which knocked down the entire gate, and I crashed right into my neighbor's pond, which broke the fountain. And yeah, the fish died. So right when I got up, I looked to like right behind me to see if my brothers and sisters were just there to see like, dang, what happened to her? Is she okay? But no, I seen them sprint so fast inside the house, they didn't want nothing to do with it. So I was just like, all right then, I'll pull this motorcycle out of the pond. But that thing was too heavy, I couldn't even, it didn't move, clear. So I went to the garage, and I was like thinking, okay, what should I do, what should I do, what should I do? Should I try to build a fence so it looks like my neighbor stole the motorcycle? So I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So I took the hammer, picked up one gate, and started hammering it. Yeah, that didn't work out because the gate kept falling apart, falling apart, falling apart, so I gave up. I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go inside and, think of what to say to my dad because he gets home in like 30 minutes. So I sat inside and I'm just plotting, pacing back and forth from the kitchen to the living room to the bathroom, practicing in front of the mirror like, oh dad, I don't know what happened, I saw the neighbors take it, just, thinking what to say. So it came to, when my dad came home, first thing he did was, I'm gonna go to the garage, I'm gonna take my motorcycle for a ride, because he just got it. And so he went to the garage and saw his motorcycle wasn't there. So he asked me, did your mom move the motorcycle? What's going on? I don't know. That's exactly what I said. So he called my mom and he was just looking outside the backyard, just staring outside. And he was just like, hey, where's my, and from the corner of the eye, he looked, he saw the motorcycle into the neighbor's gate. He went in the backyard and he was just like, what the happened to my motorcycle? He ran inside and the first thing he asked me was, what happened to the motorcycle? And I was just like, they did it. I pointed at my brothers and sisters. They want to leave me in the backyard, I'm just gonna blame them, right? So that's why Dad blamed them. My dad did some butt kicking that day, and my dad went to the neighbor's yard and explained that, yeah, I have some crazy kids that crashed through your backyard. I apologize. The thing was, they had surveillance camera. So my dad played the surveillance camera over and over because the neighbors had it, and realized that I flew inside into the neighbor's yard. So my dad came to me and I didn't have time to explain at all. He just literally kicked my butt pretty much. So what happened was my dad had to pay for a new fence, a new pond and fishes, and the new fountain, which was over like $5,000. And after that, what I learned is never lie to your parents because they will find the truth behind the lie. The next speaker is going to be Emily.
You ever wonder why you shouldn't text while driving? Well, I'm gonna tell you the time I got into a car accident while driving my uncle's car. A couple semesters ago, probably around a year ago, I had lived with my uncle and my grandma. My uncle and I were very close. The night before school, I had decided to go out with a couple of my friends to another friend's birthday party. When I got home, it was around 1 or 2 a.m. and then I completely knocked out. That morning I woke up late for school. I had slept through my alarm clock and I also woke up with a huge hangover. I had to get ready really fast and rush everything. I had weight training that day and I didn't want to miss another day of it even though my head was throbbing. I didn't have a car, so I had to borrow my uncle's car. My uncle was sleeping, so I didn't want to wake him up, and so I just took the car keys from the living room table and left really quick. While I was driving to school, everything was going good until I had remembered that my friend Eliza waits for me before going to class. I had to text her that I was going to be a little bit late. At that time, I was scared to drive on the freeway. I was on Center Road turning onto Capitol Expressway, and right when I was texting, somebody decided to cut me off out of nowhere, last minute. As I looked up, the sun was in my eye and I couldn't brake in time. I ended up hitting their car really bad. My uncle's car was a Honda Accord 1999, and I hit a big Toyota Tundra. The front of my uncle's car was all smashed in, but thankfully I was okay. I rushed out to see if everyone in the other car was okay, and good thing they were. I had a few cuts and bruises on my arms, but it was nothing to worry about. I didn't know if he seen me on my phone, so I lied saying that I blinked out so I wouldn't get in trouble with the law. They didn't speak English very well, so we just exchanged insurance information, and it looked really bad on me because my name wasn't under my uncle's car insurance. I had to call my cousin to come pick me up. I also had to get the car towed, my uncle's car towed to the junkyard because it wasn't drivable anymore. I ended up missing my weight training class because I didn't have any other ride. My cousin also had work right after, so I just ended up going home. When I got home, my uncle and I started getting into it. He was so mad. We got into a big argument. When he started punching the wall, hitting it, and then he was having the biggest tantrum I've ever seen. Fast forward to this day, we don't speak anymore. We still live together, we just don't talk. In conclusion, what I learned is not to text and drive, and also not to take other people's belongings without permission. Thank you. The next speaker will be Francesca.
Hello. Have you ever been in a car accident that was another person's fault? Today I'm going to be talking about the time that my sister and I got into a car accident. It was a hot summer day and we were on our way to the mall to spend the day shopping and catch the movie The Conjuring, which was our favorite at the time. We spent most of the morning getting ready, eating breakfast, and hanging out. At the time, my sister was driving a black Honda Civic, which was only 3 years old, and she was only 2 years into paying for her insurance. The car accident happened on Highway 280 on the freeway, getting onto the freeway off the ramp. We were driving and talking and listening to music. Then we heard a really loud crash, and we realized that the car was being pushed by the car behind us. The accident happened because the lady was trying to multitask and drive. We got out of the car, and then we were all fine, but we noticed that the cars were dented and smashed into each other. We walked to the lady's car to see how bad the damage was, and we noticed that the lady's laptop and her cell phone were both on the seat next to her when she was driving, and she was constantly looking at the Facebook and then updating her statuses, which is a really bad idea because you shouldn't be doing that, especially when you're driving. When my sister noticed that, she was constantly yelling at the lady, saying, "What are you doing? That's so stupid," and other things that I can't really say. And Then after she called the cops, and they came to give the lady a ticket, take her to the station, and they towed both of our cars, and we were still really upset. And my dad came to pick us up, and we went to go to the station to pick up the cars, and we brought it home, and the cars were really dented. Like, we didn't realize at the time how bad it was, but it was really, really bad. And luckily, we didn't get injured or even worse. What I learned was that there are many crazy, stupid drivers on the road, and you always have to be watching your surroundings, especially while driving, because drivers, especially this driver, she was in another world. Like, she wasn't thinking. And yeah, that's it. The next speaker is Nick.
Hello everybody, good morning. Have you ever had one of those days that starts out normal but just goes wrong and keeps getting worse and worse as the day goes on? I've definitely had one of those days, and this is the story of that day. After graduating from high school, like a lot of guys that age at that time, I didn't know what to do. So I thought it'd be a good idea to join the military. So after very little consideration, I decided to join the Army. So after talking to the recruiter and going through all of the basic training and all that stuff that you have to do to be in the Army, it was funny, in the Army, I was actually at my unit. But I was still a new guy in the Army, just a stupid teenager. I was probably 19 years old. And in the Army, when you're a new guy, you just get treated like garbage. There's a lot of hazing. They give you all the bad, dirty work that the guys who have been in longer don't want to do, because they've been in there, they've already proven themselves. So all the new guys like me at the time have to do all the dirty work. So one day, our unit is having what's called a change of command ceremony. It's kind of like when a unit in the Army has a commander, just like how the United States has a president. When that unit commander retires, another one comes in, and just like when we have change of presidents, it's a big ceremony. Same in the Army, there's a band, big crowd of soldiers watching, family members there. And my squad leader tells me that the outgoing commander wants us to go to the motor pool, which is like a Army parking lot, and get these two big giant Stryker vehicles. They're just these armored vehicles that the Army uses. Just think of like a bus full of armor, weighs about 20 tons. So he tells me and a friend of mine, fellow new guy, go to the motor pool and get these vehicles, because the commander wants them on the side of either side of the stage during the ceremony, I guess, to make it look cool for all the family members and people who are there. So we do that, we go to the motor pool, I get in one of the vehicles, my friend gets in the other vehicle, we start them up and we drive them over to the parade field where the ceremony is at. We park them there, we get out, we go into the formation with all of our other guys, we start watching the ceremony, we stand there in the sun. This is taking place in Jordan, so it's really, really hot. We're standing there in the sun for probably 2 hours. The ceremony's finally over, and we are told to get back into our vehicles, take them back to the motor pool, go back to work, whatever we were doing. So we go into the vehicles, I get in mine, start it up, it's fine. I start to pull out onto the main road, and I can see my friend there getting in his vehicle, but it's not moving. So I pull over, I get out, and I can see that he's just in there messing around with the controls and everything, and asking, what's wrong, what are you doing, let's go, we're gonna get in trouble. And he says that the power won't start because when he had parked the vehicle, he had left the power on, turned the engine off, but left the power on, so now the batteries were dead. That was my fault, because I didn't make sure that he had done everything correctly and locked up the vehicle. And right as he's telling me this, I can see Sergeant Petty, our squad leader, coming over. And Sergeant Petty's just like a brutal individual. He would just punish us for, at the drop of a hat, for any little thing we did. And he would use like the most brutal punishments that you could think of. So he comes over and starts yelling at us, telling us how stupid we are. And eventually he calls for a trailer to come take the vehicle away because it can't move. As the mechanics are loading up this vehicle onto the trailer, the winch that they're pulling it with, it either snaps or unhooks and goes flying off. We're all standing there, and this huge vehicle goes rolling off the back of the trailer across the parade field. Everybody watching, it was like a nightmare, we couldn't believe it. It starts rolling across the parade field into the parking lot. Miraculously misses all the cars except for one car at the end that it rolls over the front of and just totally like, flattens it. And then it finally hits like a small public bathroom where it stops. And we later found out that that one car that it did hit and destroy was the battalion commander's car, a guy who was supposed to be taking charge of the whole ceremony was before. So in the end, what I learned was that if you're given just a stupid job that seems pointless and unimportant, just do a good job, pay attention to detail, you won't have an accident like that. And the next speaker is Anthony.
Last March, the Mercury News reported that accidents on Highway 17 had hit a 10-year high. I'm here to tell you about one of those accidents. The story takes place about 2 years ago. At the time, I was dating a girl that I met on OkCupid, which, as you may have guessed, is a dating website.
Sick.
We had been seeing each other for about 5 months and everything was going great. And during the 6th month, the month of December, we started to get a little bit disenchanted with each other, I suppose you could say. But we stuck it out because in the middle of November, we had scheduled a New Year's party. And we invited a lot of our friends, some of which we hadn't seen in a while. So we kind of tolerated each other for the sake of being civil in front of all of our friends. So anyways, about 2 days before the party, I get a text from her, and she says, hey, I need you to help clean up around the house and help prepare for this party, maybe buy some things. And I said, yeah, cool, whatever, I got this, I'm sick. So I head out onto Highway 17 towards Santa Cruz, where she lives. And that might not immediately sound like a bad idea, but let me fill in the blanks a bit here. I had just gotten my Tahoe for Christmas the week prior. I didn't have a functioning vehicle before then. I had very minimal driving experience. I had my license for maybe a year, maybe less than an hour's worth of freeway training total. And I'm going out on the Highway 17 like, yeah, I got this, I'm a cool dude. And so I'm messing with the radio and I'm in the fast lane. Not a good idea when you're under experienced. And so I start drifting to the left a little bit. And because I'm fiddling with the radio, I don't notice this. So I'm drifting further left. And then eventually I hit some gravel. Bump, 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 right? And that, it's really jarring. It's the first time that it ever happened to me. And so I jerk the wheel to get off the gravel. Don't jerk the wheel when you're going 70 to 75 miles an hour, because as I quickly learned, you lose control of your vehicle. So after I lost control, I start skidding immediately to my right, and I hit the car to my right. And that car hits the car to their right, and they bounce off of that, they hit me, and I eventually collide with the center median. And I'm sitting there, and I'm stunned. This took maybe less than 10 seconds total, and I can't even remember the past 10 seconds. It was just life or death, right? And so drivers that were passing us, some of them slow down and start to stop. We refer to them as Good Samaritans, right? One of these Good Samaritans, they come up to me, ask if I'm okay. I look at my hand, which is now swelling. I sprained it on the wheel while trying to regain control. But other than that, I mean, I'm alive, I'm fine, I didn't hit no major injuries. And I look around and I don't see the vehicle that I hit anywhere. As it turns out, as that Good Samaritan filled me in on, I had flipped that car into a ditch. So my heart sinks immediately. What if I killed these people? What if there was a family in there, right? And all this is running through my mind. And you know, the EMTs, the firefighters, the cops, they start showing up, and I'm scared almost for my life. Like, how is this going to alter the direction of my life? And the cop asks if I'm on any drugs or anything that could interfere with my driving. I'm like, no. I found out that they were okay. Aside from a minor ding to the head, that was about it. Nobody was hospitalized, thankfully. So I get back in my Tahoe and I hobble away back home. And what I took away from this experience is that life is unpredictable, and while we can prepare for life, some of us less prepared might flip you into a ditch. Thank you.
In conclusion, we all learned that accidents do happen, and the best thing that we can do is learn from it, try our best to avoid it, and well, it's the same thing as never let it happen again. Is there any questions?
Just say thank you.
Thank you.
Yay!